Okay, I guess we're live. Better late than never. I think it's working. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Should it show up here?
I think it should show up. Yes. So sorry to y'all that the live stream did not happen 2 weeks ago. As David was so kind to point out, I had personal matters to attend to, and it would have been a solo stream anyway. I think I announced this on Reddit that it would be only me probably because you were on vacation, but then something came up for me as well, and so I wasn't able to do it alone. But 2 weeks later, back on our usual cadence, I'm like, Daniel, we need to do this, even though it's my first day back in the office. Let's do it. We have a little prepared. You will see there are no names below us. There is no logo in the top. Yeah, left, right on YouTube, as you know. Always.
We're doing raw.
Yeah, we are very raw, and the topic will be very raw as well. We'd like to encourage, of course, everybody who is here on such a short notice to ask any questions you have. This, of course, is as every 2 weeks the supposed opportunity for you all to connect with us, ask us anything, and just hook up and tell us what your thoughts are. Going into the topic for today, I think we have some exciting stuff to share, which I want to talk about anyway. So you want to take it on?
Sure.
Tell it to the people, preach it.
We finally, okay, we're just confused here, but I think everything's okay. So we finally put out the network monitor, the new network monitor, which is now called network activity, into the beta release channel. So if you switch to the beta release channel, as we explained in the previous live streams, then you will already see the new activity, network activity view, it is just amazing to work with. It's just so great. You have all the connections there, and you just click on stuff, start filtering, and it's so quick to find the things you're looking for. And yes, we're still working on making it more accessible. Right now you a little bit have to know where to click, but we are making it easier. We are now collecting feedback on like what did you want to do and why was that too hard, and how did you find out, and then how can we make it a lot easier to go along these common paths. For example, a really common path is find all block connections of these 3 applications, for example. We want to help you to get there faster so that the network activity view is really a breeze to use and you get all the information as fast as possible. And we're really excited about this change, and we are currently already fixing the first bugs and doing improvements, which will go out already next week as a small iteration on that. And after that small fix, it will go into the stable release channel. So all of our current users will receive that in about 2 weeks, I say. That should more or less be it.
If you're now going into the beta channel, and if you look into it, and if you find stuff, please reach out. Please let us know. Definitely. And if there are things that we need to fix, we will try to fix it. But of course, this will delay the release onto the stable channel.
If big things come up, but right now we only know little things. So I don't think there will be big things, but who knows?
Yeah, stuff that I found, for instance, is if you start searching for things, it gives you suggestions. Very cool. But then my immediate reaction was I wanted to click on it, and then I'm like, oh no, this is not working. And of course, for programmers, it's more of a keyboard only thing. So it's down, on the arrow keys, and then enter, and then it's in the it's in there. But for regular users, and I sometimes would consider myself a prosumer in certain regards. But like I would want to use the mouse. I'm usually clicking around in the Portmaster and not just like navigating it via the keyboard.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
I think is this in the beta channel currently as well?
The secret feature.
The secret feature.
Oh, the secret feature. You
Yeah.
really want to share that one?
I'm already teasing it, but like there will be like because we have like very technical minded people on the team who are like using their computer primarily through the keyboard. The Portmaster will get secret features in that regard as well. It's
we started. Do you want to continue there?
I just wanted to say it's a little pet project. I wanted to reassure everybody this is not something that's like
we're actually pushing. It's just
exactly
stuff that happens, you know.
It's stuff that
is that a good way to put it or not?
No.
You don't know. Okay, sorry.
But this is what the live stream is for. I think it's good for the live stream.
Yeah.
It's good for everybody who wants to understand how we're working. We want to work and have fun while working. And usually my job is to keep everybody focused, or exclusively this is my job basically. But sometimes there is a balance to be had, like getting new features out for all of you, improving stability, of course, for everybody, and then of course having like features for the developers which they have fun with and stuff like that. And sometimes it's very useful features for everybody in the end as well, but of course it usually takes some time to get there. So, but you were about to...
I was just testing it so I got it right. So, should I break it? Do you want to break it?
Yeah, break the news.
Okay, so, like, a lot of other softwares have that you can press Control Spacebar anywhere in the application, and it will bring up a search bar, so you can put in commands or whatever. So, we started this, and no matter where you are in the application, you can just press Control Spacebar and you get a search bar. Right now the only thing hooked into this is the new network activity, so you can just start searching for any connection or start filtering immediately. So if you're somewhere on a page of an application and you're like, this is interesting, this domain, I want to search for that domain on all my applications, not just this one. Just do Control Spacebar, type in the domain while you're looking at it below, so you type it correctly. Just hit enter, and then you hop into the network activity view with the correct filter applied. Mm-hmm. So it's a really nice way to jump from anywhere to the activity and just check what is going on. Mm-hmm. So and in time we'll add more things to that. Mm-hmm. So you'll probably be able to jump to settings or to other things. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of a thing we're kind of doing because it's fun, you know. Another thing that's maybe more useful for some of you is that GitHub does this. If you are on their view, sometimes on the very bottom they have a kind of a small pro tip icon, and then like a very short tip on something pro thing you can do. So we added that to the network activity. So it sometimes I think it shuffles what it shows you, and it will show a random pro tip about how you can control the network activity in order to be faster and get more out of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
this is absolutely something we need to do. The Portmaster is fairly like deep when it comes to settings, and we just today had a little talk about the SPN and what to sort of display, what to tell people what the SPN can do. And like with both Portmaster and the SPN, it's such a technology product. It has so many features and so many capabilities, which we want to, and I think this is a common thread when people are asking stuff on Reddit and they're like, well, can I do this and can I do that? And sometimes the answer currently is, well, Yes, you will be. The capabilities are there, but we need to figure out the user interface for it. We need to figure out how you can interact with it in a way that you understand what impact the setting will have, and that you know what sort of like changes you can make to it to either improve your like speeds and connections and stuff, and what changes you can make to improve your privacy. I feel like my privacy journey had its like deepest point, like when I was about to give up at one point almost, was when I had my Firefox configured in a way that it was just painful to use. And I realized at this point, well, I don't actually know if all of this actually improves my privacy, or if some of that stuff just is there to cause me pain, you know? And so at this point, I just deinstalled Firefox at all and was like moving back to Brave. Not that Brave is a bad browser or anything, don't want to start any browser wars here, but I'm like, well, this works out of the box, and I can then very easily enable and disable stuff. And of course I have to trust Brave in many regards to do the right thing, but I for a long time switched to Brave after that. And with the Portmaster, what we want to do is not to be like Brave, not to only have like a toggle, allow scripts or disallow it, but not be as complex as UMatrix, where you can enable and disable everything out of the box. Yes, UMatrix is has been inspiring to us. We have looked at it and we understood, well, this is something like this for the computer, which we at least want to give the capabilities for in a certain extent. But what UMatrix lacks is explaining what it does. And so I think what we try to do, especially with the simple and with the advanced view there as well, is give you the option to understand it better, and give you the option to sort of see what impact does it have, and all of this. And so pro tips, tying back to where we came from, will help people to get the depth, so that you have something like Brave when you open up the Portmaster for the first time, and maybe dabble in simple view and just turn things on and off. But maybe more and more we will lead people into the advanced view, and maybe into the beta release channel as well. And I think this is exactly what we're doing with you here, where we're like explaining to you what cool features are there, what pro tips are there, you know. And maybe this is something we can have on the live stream as well, where we do a pro tip corner or something like that. Pro tip corner. So your pro tip corner for today has been the search bar.
Definitely.
Global search bar.
but continuing the topic of like usability and privacy, that's kind of a real struggle that a lot of have, and that's something that we think we can get right. Not because we're maybe the best out there, but because of the dedication and we have the willingness to invest in that and go down that route. So. And especially in that topic, if you have feedback, please, very welcome. So I have another thing I want to tell our viewers about the new network activity.
Sure.
Something that people have been requesting for such a long time.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
this is the main topic.
You ready? Ready? It's graphs. Graphs everywhere. So not just does every app now have in the background of its header a graph of the current active connections and bot connections, but also if you do any search in an activity, it'll show you a visual representation of the results of that search. And if you start grouping by application, grouping by domain, or grouping by both, grouping by application and domain, or like whatever you want to group, just try it out. It will draw a graph for every group. So if you just go in there, just do group by application, you'll instantly have a list of graphs showing the behavior, the behavior of every of your applications. So you'll see how long their connections stay open, how often they connect, how much is blocked, when it is blocked, if there's a pattern in there, if there are matching patterns between different applications. It is just so great to understand what your device is doing.
Yeah.
It's
intuitively.
It's so great. That's one of these things that we wanted to do later on, and then during development, we realized, wait a second, isn't there a really easy way to do it? We tried it out, it worked, and then we're like, okay, that's cool, but we'll just show it in the developer interface mode because it's a bit raw. But as we were finishing the narrow activity, we're like, but this is so important, this is so good, and we just enabled it for everyone. We're like, let's just lob it out there, let's just let them have it, let everyone have it, because it's so good, and we're really excited for all of you to get that. Right now, if you want to switch to the beta release channel, and in a couple of weeks if you're waiting on stable. So yeah, that was the thing I wanted to share.
No, and I think it's a very good point to sort of tell people as well. We want to be a little bit more bold with what features we're sharing, what features we're sort of like promoting now as well.
Yeah.
Sort of like up until now, we were a little bit scared because we thought, well, we need to show our like best in regards of stability, because the Portmaster has been fairly new software. But now we are moving more and more towards the direction of showing features earlier, having them in the beta channel, of course, as well. And I think this is partly the reason why we're talking about this so much in the live show, because this is where the people who are very interested into seeing where the Portmaster is going, where they can actually see it and interact with us much earlier. If it's in the beta channel, we have just been working on it. And and if there is a suggestion, we can fix it in the next sprint. We're doing Scrum. Maybe you didn't know that, but we're using Agile project management and Agile development. So this is also the reason why he was talking about 2 weeks, because this is the next sprint, end of next sprint. So if you are suggesting something, it can take up to 4 weeks, of course, if we until we have it implemented, because if it's not in this sprint, it won't be in a sprint till the next one. And then if it's a big thing, it will take more than one sprint, of course, as well. So yeah, and then afterwards it will move into the beta channel, or maybe staging. Like the network monitor has shortly been in the staging.
Yeah, I think the network monitor was the one feature that we'd had in staging for the longest period of all things. Normally so there's a staging channel that you should not use.
Like, please don't.
Because we just randomly push stuff there that we want to test out. So normally we use it just before we do a release to the beta release channel, which it pushes to staging. We share that in the team for others to test. I boot up some VMs, see if everything works there, and just kind of a final smoke test before it goes out. Does the stuff we just compiled, this very specific version, work everywhere we expect it to work? At least in a very basic thing. There might be bugs, of course. We don't go bug hunting in that stage. We just see, does it work, and will it crash, will it die, or will it live long enough for the next update?
Will it crash? That is the question.
Will it crash? Yeah.
Boo-doo, boo-doo, boo-boo.
So that's the thing of staging here. So yeah.
So don't use staging. If we get any bug reports from a staging release channel user, we're sorry. We would just tell you to please move to beta or to stable, because the staging, as you just explained, is not the place to be. It's just not. Yeah, but very cool. Just one addition though, because we were talking about the search thing. This is in the beta channel as well. It's not unstable yet.
That's...
You don't know?
That's
the global search.
Oh, that's part of the new network activity.
Yeah, exactly.
That was like
exactly.
one process. So yeah.
So in our pro tip corner, the process we talked about is only available in the beta release channel at the moment. But as you were already saying, we will probably push this onto the stable release channel fairly soon. So in the next weeks. If nothing comes up, and if you're excited to see it, is there an FAQ on how to switch release channels? Oh, maybe this would be a great
good
FAQ.
I'll check afterwards.
Let's see
if there's.
We will put it into the show notes if I don't forget.
Yeah.
And the FAQ on how to switch release channels, and so that you can get going and figure out what the Portmaster has coming up for everybody else.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I think this is really a big step. One, you were saying about the graphs, and then you were talking about looking and getting a feeling for your device. Why I think the new network activity view is very good and very important is because sometimes, especially in gaming, you have games which are running in multiple processes, and you don't actually know which one is the one that's causing havoc and breaking your experience at the moment. And up until now, you would have to hunt for the correct app. And with the pills on the side, those little icons which tell you how many connections are allowed and blocked, those were supposed to help you figuring out which application to investigate or which process to investigate. But now you can just look on all blocked connections, and the list will be like encompassing all applications and all processes. So you will be hopefully much faster in figuring out what actual connection and in which application is the one responsible for like breaking your experience.
Also because the small pills shows the summary in the last 10 minutes. So if you're just looking for something that like failed just now, then with the graphs, if you just group by application, you can go through the graphs and see where there's a recent spike, maybe multiple spikes from multiple applications. You're like, oh, this application is trying to connect, and this is 2, and this one is 2. So you're like, oh, okay, there are 3 applications. I need to like take care of all 3 of them, and then it works. So that's just such a huge difference in finding the culprit.
Just because I forgot earlier and I want to move into another topic, I wanted to say hi to Udara as well, because he waved at us and I'm like waving back. Sorry for the long wait, but thanks for commenting. The thing I wanted to talk about as well was you were earlier saying something about the last 10 minutes. And I feel like this is sort of the elephant in the room here as well. We have been developing the Portmaster up until now with all the all the data sitting in RAM and sitting in like memory, exactly. Nothing has up until now been written in any database on your hard drive, and the reason for this, of course, was so that if your device is turned off, everything is gone, and you don't have to think about where are my connections. Do I create a log for, I don't know, an attacker or somebody to see and to find and to figure out, and the issue there was, of course, like if it's in memory, how much memory do we use? How much memory is acceptable? And so we decided, well, this is hard to say, but we feel like 10 minutes has been like the amount of time that we were like, okay, this gives you decent information. But
also from a usability standpoint, like even if we like put an hour into memory and that would be okay memory wise, it's still like if you have a summary of the last hour, that is not a current snapshot of what is happening right now, and that's kind of like goes back. And this has, of course, now with the graphs that would maybe be better, but previously if you have a summary from only 1 hour, it's a lot harder to see the differences and see how things are changing.
Yeah. Now with the graphs, I think you're right. This improves as well.
Yeah.
And but what we're currently one of the next things we're working on is something like a record button where you can then decide on like investigating an application, a specific one, and recording the traffic of that said application. And this will be written onto your hard drive, and I don't actually have thought about how it will be stored there, if it will be legible or if it will be encrypted. Maybe you can let us know your feelings, if this should be encrypted or if it should be easily searchable and portable in somewhere else. I don't know. So let us know your feelings. Maybe. See, in those situations, we usually say, well, maybe we give a setting for this. But typically, I think what we should, having a setting for everything, of course, if you have seen the settings page of the Portmaster, you already know we have so many settings and not all of them are clear. So
also, because this just came out of the blue, I'm going to say like encryption on a client is difficult. So, it might not even be worthwhile, because where do you put the key? Because the key is there too. So what's the encryption there for? And also, I don't know if it's compatible with the storage we're wanting to use, stuff like that. We'll think about ideas. We'll try to do everything possible that's possible technically, but it's not that trivial, and we'll see what we can do. I just see that Udara said, it should be encrypted. Definitely. If there's a way to do it, and it makes sense, we'll do it. But this will take evaluation time. It won't be there in the first version. It will come later. First, we will focus on the bringing out, but also making the user experience correct, so people understand there is recording going on.
Yeah.
How can they start that again?
Yeah. Clear the data.
So we don't want people to like open their private window in whatever their favorite browser is, just to find out afterwards that Portmaster record everything. There you go.
Not on its own, but you decided you want to record it, and then of course
forgot about it or whatever, or it's not obvious how to do a pause or something. So it's important to get the UX right there, because recording stuff like that is not nice if people don't know about it. Yeah. You want your users to do informed decisions, that they know what is going on, that they're empowered. That's what we're doing. We empower users. And we don't want to don't want users to feel powerless. That would be not what we want. Yeah. So
absolutely.
Yeah. That's the focus of the first version there.
Maybe then, Udara, if you would be so kind, would you, because of the key thing, what you were saying, I think the Portmaster would have to ask at the beginning of the recording for a password or something. I know. You were just saying
so many problems. Yeah.
So many problems.
Just let's not go further into that. We just
okay. Well, but I think it's a good point. Yeah. Where do you store the key? This is not something I've been thinking about. If the key lies next to the lock, well, what's the point of a lock then?
Yeah. So. But maybe that's a cool idea for like an FAQ or a blog post. Depending on what our decision is, just to explain it. How did we arrive at the decision? Why do we think that's the best way?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And of course, as you're saying, Udara, encrypted, we are thinking of stuff like that, of course, as well. My mind always moves to, like, how can we protect this? And it's always, as you're saying, a balance, what is in regards to usability. And of course, you want to see, maybe record, as I'm saying, like an application you're investigating, but then what to do with that information, how to store it in a way, how to make it easy for you to clear that data and stuff. And for browsers, maybe an easy fix is telling people, please don't record your browser data. Just don't. This isn't.
Yeah, you'll be able to exclude apps.
Yeah, or just record certain apps. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
As I'm saying, it's an investigation tool. You want to investigate an application, and the data always, of course, stays locally. But for the first time, it will be written somewhere and thereby stored, and some other people could come around and look at it, of course, as well. So this is stuff we're thinking of, and I think that we are now with the new network activity figuring out a view, as you were already hinted at, with the graphs and everything. We feel like now it will be easier to navigate through all of this. Now we have figured out for us what the view can be to sort of dive into this data and figure out what applications we're connecting to those to those domains, for, as you said, for how long have they been connecting and stuff. And this is all very interesting, and maybe a thing there as well is this, as you're saying, is not in the works yet. And it will take a little bit of time. It's not around the corner. We're focusing on improving stuff in the Portmaster currently a bit as well. The activity view, as we were just saying, just came out. Bugs fixing there will be more important than continuing with the recording of applications and stuff. So just to put everything in perspective here a bit, this is a little further out. It won't be here.
But it is very high on the list.
Yes,
so,
yes. Right.
As soon as there's time, we'll start. We're not gonna just wait for something to happen.
No.
We know we're gonna do it. We are doing it. We're just waiting for time to get going.
Yeah.
So
that is true.
And maybe to show what that could mean. What can we do with network history? And the dream I have is that one day you'll get a weekly or monthly privacy report. So the Portmaster will itself start digging into all this data and create a report for you.
Locally.
Everything locally. And the report will have these are the applications that the Portmaster saw for the first time. Mm-hmm. These were the domains, the top domains that were accessed. These were the top domains that were blocked. These domains look weird. Mm-hmm. Maybe look at them. And then and this is how much you asked you queried the big evil ones. What are they called? There's an acronym for that. Something was F's and M's and G's. I don't know what these companies, these letters are. You'll figure it out. And it'll tell you kind of your state of privacy, and maybe also point out settings you have that are unusual, that you should keep in mind that you have them, because they might break your privacy and stuff like that. Kind of a health report, how is it going, how are things, stuff like that, reminders, kind of like an engine, car check something, checkup. So that's kind of where my dream is with that thing, and we'll get there eventually. That's definitely not around the corner. First we'll have that out for a couple of months at least, to see how that works and work on that. But that's something that's really cool that we can then use that for. Other things are, we can start with enough historical data. We could start automatically creating more private profiles. Settings, sorry. Profiles is what we use internally in some parts, a bit outdated. You could create custom settings automatically that are more private, or it could suggest better settings for you. So there's so many things that we could go into with that stuff. Yeah. But all locally, all just private, just for you. So that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And very far out there.
And far out there. That's really very far out there.
So we wanted to chime in today, as I said, to sort of raise a little bit of awareness in regards to what has been happening in the network activity. Please try move stuff around. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. We're excited. As I said, there will be a link in the video description in regards to how to get to this view and how to enable it. But from my side, I'd like to sort of like keep it short today. As I said, we just crashed in and it was a little bit out of the box. We will try to be here in 2 weeks again.
Definitely. I think that works out.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay,
This was very spontaneous because it has been like in this cadence. Thank you for chiming in. Of course, these videos stay up so you can watch them later on as well. And again, if you have any questions to ask while we're not on the air, you can of course email us hello@safething. Write in the subreddit, write in the comments of this video, let us know what questions you have and we can answer them later on. If you're watching this not on YouTube directly, send us an email. As I said, I think this is a good way to reach us without using Reddit or YouTube.
That's an interesting one. They were asked, what about having 2 different icons for Portmaster and Safing? I'm not going to answer this right now.
Yeah, we're not going to answer this, but
there's a history. We'll talk about the history. We'll maybe share some history about that and how we got where we are and where we might be going. So
I'm not sure. Maybe in 2 weeks. Maybe in 2 weeks.
We'll see. But this is a really great question.
It is a great
thanks
question.
for that.
And we actually have pictures to show.
Sure. Yeah, we have lots of pictures to show. Fun stuff. But like as a closing note, how can you support us? How can you help us?
Oh, good
idea. Download the Portmaster. Try it out. Check out the features. Give us feedback. Spread the word. Talk about the Portmaster. Tell whatever online community you're in that how great the Portmaster is for you and what it'll do for them. And if you want to support us financially, also check out the SPN and with other cool stuff we're doing there. That's a next generation VPN system that will actually protect your privacy and connections online. And that's the other thing we are working on and we are very excited about. So check that out too. And engage in the community.
Ask us anything.
Yeah, ask us stuff. Yeah.
We try to be responsive and open. Other than that, have a good one. You can reach him at the Javi on Twitter as well.
Yeah, we'll put the handles
in the description as well. And me at Rafty101. And have a great day and see you all around. Bye.
Okay, see ya.